or when she's with her friend, guess what music they're playing? They're playing trance techno, which was really popular at that time. I think AI music, okay, this is going to be super controversial.
Welcome to Koi's in a Pond. Today we have my good friend Johnny. What do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah, why are you here?
I am here to talk about being a creative and just to talk about life.
Nice. I like both. Okay, let's get into it. So, what kind of art do you like to participate in, my friend?
Dance.
Okay, that's a good one.
Dance is an art, right?
Yeah.
Anything creative. I've always liked creative things. So anything where you can express yourself, no matter the medium or an outlet, whatever.
I feel like you're downplaying yourself. This guy does a lot of stuff. So when I first met him, he's like one of the craziest b-boys in high school. Okay, we went to high school together, fun fact. And this guy used to spin on his arms. What are they called? 2000s?
Yes.
What else are they called? 1990s?
Yes.
And then used to do some crazy power and some hand hops. I still think this guy can do better hand hops than all my friends. Just saying. And I have a lot of dancer friends too. But yeah, this guy's like totally humble right now. But he knows how to shuffle. He knows like all these different styles. What's your favorite style?
If I had to be honest, my main style right now is shuffling because I recently got into like a community based in Orange County.
Mm-hmm. What are they called?
They're called OC Shufflers. So if you're in Orange County and you've been curious about dance or shuffle or you like EDM music, definitely check them out if you're in Orange County because having a community is really cool.
Okay, let's talk about that. How did that journey even start, shuffling? Let's go with that.
Okay. I've always messed around with shuffling growing up since high school, but I didn't take it seriously. I've been into EDM. I've liked those styles of music, those subgenres. But I dabbled in shuffling with my friends as a joke. It actually started as a joke.
Okay, that's not the first time I heard that.
Yes, so I actually did not take it seriously at all.
Okay.
And then a long time ago, if we had to like go back in
How many
time,
years are we talking?
we're talking like
20?
sophomore year.
That's like 20 years.
Yeah. If we had to go all the way back, I actually, one of my old friends back in the day who danced as well, and he was in our friend group and dancer group. His name is Jude.
Shout out Jude.
I made a parody video. I came up with this idea with him where I made a parody video of a Melbourne Shuffle compilation video where, you know, it's like back in the day we used Windows Movie Media Maker and then you put like the cheesy effects on it with the rainbow color.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I mimicked that. I made a parody. I made a fake shuffle name. Jude made a fake shuffle name.
What was it?
And then I don't remember, but it was just something really cheesy that was fitting the names at that time.
Okay.
And then I just copied what I saw on YouTube because that's how I learned about shuffling. It came from Melbourne in Australia. Yeah. And I just mimicked them and I was pretending to shuffle, but I didn't really know how to do it at that time. And then we just made a fake shuffle like video and it was like the funniest thing ever.
Dang, that's pretty funny. I didn't know you made it. Is it on YouTube?
I think it's on YouTube, but I can't find it. It's like so long gone. I've been trying to search like my old YouTube videos that I made back in the day, but I can't find it.
Well, now that you're in a shuffle group,
yes.
Did you end up learning more about the history at all, or any more moves, or the style itself? Let's break it down. Originally it was just a joke, but now that it's become more of your personal style, how do you feel it's like developed over time?
So the shuffle scene and shufflers, I have to give them a lot of respect because just like with breakdancing and b-boying, it's grassroots and it started from passionate people who had interest in a certain thing. And, you know, with the rise of EDM and a lot of people are going to festival and raves, right? Yeah. That's pretty common nowadays. There's dancers that go too, you know, and shuffle is just one of the styles that you can move to that kind of beat and express yourself. And I think it's starting to become it's starting to grow, especially stateside. because I just recently in the summer went to my first shuffle event.
Whoa.
And it was like an organized event with shufflers from different countries. One of the judges was from France. And one of the inspirations that I saw during COVID when I was learning how to shuffle and actually like start practicing it, I saw her and inspired me to actually start learning the style. But it was just really cool to see everyone dancing.
Nice. What do they call shuffling in France? Do they call it like souffle?
I don't know, man. Ratatouille, I don't know, but
Dude, that's cool though. That's cool. That's international because originally wasn't it from Melbourne?
I think Australia, it probably was. If I could be mistaken, I'm not exactly sure, but I think Australia is definitely one of the hot spots because Melbourne Shuffle is its own like genre of shuffle style. Kind of like how breaking, you have West Coast and the Bronx and things like that. You can say that's definitely one of the capitals for that.
How do you feel about LMFAO made that shuffle song where you're like, oh, this is tight, or where you're like, you know what, at least it's getting popular? Like, how did you feel about that?
So during that time, there was definitely a rise of EDM during that era. And I was in high school, and that was like junior, senior year for me. And a lot of people just started shuffling out of nowhere. And I saw that, and then they were shuffling to that song. So during lunch, we had speakers at the school that I went to, and they would blast that song every lunch. And then there's literally like a group of people that was shuffling in the middle, like in the center of the school right there. But I think I think it's cool. You know, shuffling is still expressing yourself as dancing. I don't see any negativity to it. So,
you know, speaking of lunch, we used to do break dance or breaking battles and popping battles in our hip hop club. That's kind of how we met, right? Was it hip hop club is where we met?
Every lunch I was in hip hop club at Grove, and that's why I learned to b-boy with everyone else.
That was my first sense of community in the dance scene, because I was introduced to the whole just hip hop history in general was because of hip hop club. And when I became president of hip hop club, we started bringing all the etiquette of like going to jams, going to battles, ciphering, that whole culture. We brought it to hip hop club, and we did it at lunch because I felt like that was the only place we really belonged. Because I didn't hang out with anyone else. I used to hang out with like the band kids, but then it was kind of like, oh man, everyone's already having their friends. So when hip hop club started, I really felt like, whoa, I could really be myself here. I could really interact with a lot of new people. And that's actually how I met a lot of my friends to this day was from dance. People that I still keep in my lives. Like, what about you?
I'm not going to lie. Garden Grove Hip Hop Club was one of my fundamental like things that started everything for me to start dancing seriously, to really want to be a b-boy, because that was like one of my absolute passions at the time. I wanted to actually become a professional. During that time, that was my mindset.
Wow.
So I practiced every single day. I went every single lunch, and I learned the history of hip hop because you guys brought David over one day, and he mentored us and he taught us about the elements of hip hop. So because through him, I learned what hip hop was, where it came from, how it started, how breaking started. So just to have that insight really was inspiring, to know the culture and to be educated and to kind of just have like the whole picture of everything.
Yeah, it was really cool because even after high school, did you keep on dancing after high school, or did you ever take a break in dancing? Because that tends to happen to a lot of our friends that start dancing in high school, or just anybody that starts a hobby, right? That they feel like is their passion. Usually life will get in the way if you don't become a professional. And because of that, it's really hard to keep up with it throughout the adulthood. So I'm actually really glad to see you still doing it. But did you ever have like those periods of like, man, I want to just not do this anymore?
So for sure, life came in the way and I had to stop. And like I went from like dancing like a lot and for like almost every day, and then, like we had like Sunday Regal sessions. I showed up a lot, like I was really into it, and I had to stop for a bit because life and whatever, you had to take care and prioritize. So it was weird because inside of me, I've always enjoyed dance. Would never forget it, and I think I can dance if the environment's correct, and then like this music and I'm vibing. Like I would naturally just dance and move my body because that's just how I am. But I took some time off, couple years, and then I'm just happy that now recently I got back into it again. Just be able
Nice,
to move
nice.
my body and
That's good. Yeah,
do
usually
that.
when we go to parties or we go to events, and if there's loud music, you're always gonna see him be the first one to like jump into the circle. Usually it's me,
Yeah.
but when I hang out with him, it's him. Like every time. But yeah, no, it's definitely a good icebreaker for social gathering. You know what? Let's talk about that. Speaking of socializing, how did you feel like you grew in that aspect? Because I remember we were sitting in the car one day and you asked me like, Can, how do you just talk to strangers? Remember that when we talked about
Yes, yes,
that?
yes, yes.
So this was only like a few years ago,
Yes.
and from then till now, what did you learn from since then?
So I had an issue back then that you're bringing up. It was more like social anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't know how to approach strangers without overthinking or doubting myself. Um, but with the recent years, I've just kind of put myself out there and I thought less and just like in the moment, like even if I'm scared, I started challenging myself to just do it and just put myself out there. So I put myself in these scenarios that I normally wouldn't do in the past because I'll be doubting myself too much or overthinking. But with the help of Can and with his advice, I actually took it in and just like sprinkled myself in different environments and met new people mutually through the dancing or
Yeah.
through that event or similar interests.
What
And
was my advice? I don't even remember.
dude,
Do you remember what I said?
you're just like, I don't know. You just like we're just like saying, like what you're feeling is normal. A lot of people do feel this.
Yeah.
Like it's not just you, but it's also okay to just like, strike a conversation with someone you don't know or just, get to know them or open up or ask them questions, get to know them as a person,
Yeah.
Don't think too much about yourself. You can also think about them and ask them what they're interested in and whatnot. And then just with that, you can naturally bond with them. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty damn good advice if I don't say so myself.
pretty deep.
No, I'm just kidding. It's yeah, because I know that with social anxiety, I hear it a lot, and I hear that people are usually at parties like standing it by the wall, right? But I notice that I usually don't do that, even if I feel that, because I know that I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
Well, this is just coming from my perspective. I know that's not for everybody, but when I go to any event, party or not, casual, super big, fancy, it doesn't matter what level of the social gathering is, I tend to come with the idea of, am I here to have a good time? Am I here to meet people? What is my intention? Going back to intention, like what is my actual intention of being here? And if I can't find the answer, I'm not gonna go.
Wow.
Like if I don't want to talk to anybody, if I
Yeah.
don't want to just don't go, right? But then if you're going, there must be a reason why you're even showing up. If you can think about that and kind of focus on that, then that should be able to motivate you to start talking to people or just do whatever you need to do there. Usually I'm at events for work, and it's because I'm either performing or I'm there to, work on something, meet somebody, whatever. And then I just focus on that. And if I end up meeting other people, new people on the side, that's cool too. But what I usually like to do when I talk to strangers
Yeah.
is I like to go, what brings you here? I have defaults.
Oh.
I have really good
has a
conversation defaults. And it just came natural too. I didn't like learn it from anyone. I just kind of did it over time, and I felt more comfortable with these questions.
Yeah.
So the first one is, what brings you here, right? Second one is, who did you come with? If they came with anybody, because then that's kind of how they found their way over. Usually that I want to try to find the thing that connects people, like what connected you to this thing, and then usually from there it'll just start going based off of what their answer is. So I like to flow that way. So I wait for them to respond and I listen to the response. And from that response, I either branch out to other things.
Yeah.
But it really depends on what they say. Because if they're all closed off and they say like one word, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this person's not trying to talk right now. And then I go, okay, cool, like thank you, and then I walk away. But usually that doesn't happen. It's very rare
Yeah.
that I talk to people and then they go, yeah, whatever, and then walk away.
Yeah.
That's super rare. Most of the time, people are really nice if you're at a party or something, right? But here's another default that I like to ask is if they are right after they answer, like, oh, I'm doing this, this, and this, and I go, oh, how did you get into this?
Yeah.
So I start diving backwards, and I try to, because you're trying to understand them, you know, and in order to understand someone, you have to ask questions that kind of reveal certain things about their path of getting here, or just maybe their personality, right? And then another way I like to break the ice is through something funny, like make somebody laugh. That's kind of harder, but sometimes when you're at a place and you see something funny and you notice something funny happening and you go, oh dude, look at this guy, and then the other person hears your joke or whatever, and then that usually starts the conversation. That's a fun way to do it as well. Like if you see something ridiculous at an airport or something, and like let's say somebody went to the wrong seat or something,
Yeah.
and I go, dude, somebody doesn't know how to read. I wouldn't be that mean, but that's just an example. You know, like break the ice with a joke, talk about them, and then there's another one. Oh yeah, depending on the vibes, a really good icebreaker is just dancing. This is why it's one of my favorite things, because you don't have to say anything. You just have to have fun and be yourself in the way that you are expressing, right?
Yeah.
So just from that alone, not having to say a word, just dancing, you're already going to connect to way more people if you think about it all at once. Because then you look around and you're going to be like, you're going to see smiles. You're going to see smiles, you're going to see cheering. Or if you're really bad at dancing, you're going to see them go like, man, what's going on? You know, either way, you get a reaction from a lot of people. So that's why I think it's like a fun activity to break the ice. And especially if you're at a place where nobody's going to expect dancing, right? That's like, from your experience, how many times have you seen that happen?
Just breaking the ice?
Yeah, like if you go to, like, let's say we go to that, what was that one event we went to? The bitter tones.
Bitter tones.
So
Yes.
when we showed up there and like you don't see anybody dancing and then you start dancing, like how did that feel?
The moment that we started dancing, everyone was like, whoa, 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 who's this? And then everyone just opened up the circle for us, and they were watching, like everyone's eyes was like on us. And you know, I can relate with you where I know me and you are similar when it comes to like, if we're in a social setting and there's music, and if it's possible, we will dance.
Yeah.
Because we just like to express ourselves. It's fun. But also a lot of people get attention and they're like, oh, you're a dancer? Like, how you've been dancing for? And then you just naturally strike up conversations, and then you end up making new friends. So this is definitely one of my defaults. Like I am dancing. Like if there's music, if there's a floor, and then if it's socially acceptable in that environment, I'm gonna dance. So it's one of my go-tos.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let's talk about EDM, because I know you recently went to, what was your most recent rave?
Dream State. That
Dream
was
State.
last week.
So are you into trance like that?
I grew up on trance.
Can we talk about that?
Yes, we can.
How did you get into trance?
I am actually very passionate when it comes
All
to
right,
this
let's
genre.
go.
So, something you need to know about me. When my mom had me, she was very young. She was like maybe 20, 21 when she
wow.
had me. So, she was a very young mother. And one of the things that makes her different from, you know, the stereotypical strict Asian parent, she was more chill when it came to, I don't know. Like I just
So raising you?
raising me in a certain way, yes, because she at that time was still going out and living her 20s.
Right.
And then I naturally just grew up like in sitting in the back of the car when she's driving me or when she's with her friend. Guess what music they're playing? They're playing trance techno, which was really popular at that time. Tiesto, ATB, DJ Sammy, things like that, right? So I just naturally grew up hearing these tunes ever since I was young. So I think it's ingrained in me to like that genre of music because it's so natural to me, and I've always been hearing it since
That's
forever.
crazy that you grew up listening to Lucky. I
Mm-hmm.
grew up listening to like freaking disco and like
Disco?
whatever my parents listened to,
Yeah.
like Spanish guitar. It's literally random stuff from the 80s and 70s and
Yeah.
60s that my parents grew up listening to. So that was what I was hearing because I have older parents. Like my dad was like 40 something when he had me. My mom was already in her 30s. So they already lived their party life, you know. They're much older, and then they had me. So I grew up listening to more just it was such a wide range. Like, you know, when you get older, your taste in music starts to like branch out.
For sure.
So you start off with your favorites, right? And then when you get tired of it, you go, oh, I'm going to listen to this now and this and this. So imagine growing up just listening to a bunch of random stuff. So I think that's why for my taste in music, I don't really have a taste.
Yeah.
I just listen to whatever.
Yeah.
So I like trance, I like EDM,
Yeah.
right? But if I get bored of it, I'll start moving into like dubstep, bass
Yeah,
music,
yeah.
like something harder.
Yeah.
And then when you kind of rewind and go back to like the 90s, there's some really good gems of like
for sure.
techno,
For
trance.
sure. Some anthems. I call
Yeah.
them anthems.
So what's like your top 10 for
top 10?
either trance or we'll do both. We'll do trance and techno.
Can I just do like just EDM world?
Sure, yeah.
I'll branch out a little bit, but
Yeah,
like,
start older.
dude, ATB,
Okay.
9 p.m. or ATB Ecstasy, those are like iconic classics.
Yep.
Like we hear that all the time, and everyone here would know that song.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If it plays, we know it. Robert Miles' Children
Mm-hmm.
is a very popular one as well. And then just branching out a little bit, Daft Punk.
Oh yeah.
I listened to so many Daft Punk tracks, you know.
Discovery.
Discovery, like Around the World.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that track when it comes on.
One more time. That's the best
One
one.
more time. Just like those tracks growing up, that era, like I am very fond of that era, and it's like so vivid to me. Like it just feels like yesterday to me, because I just remember the culture, the era, and
Yeah.
my cousins during that time, they're older than me, so they're living that era in their prime time, so like 18 to early 20s, and I kind of learned off of them too when I was just a kid. So
What about techno? Well, I don't know too much about techno.
Techno?
Yeah, I know you listen to techno. So what defines a techno beat versus a trance beat? Can you tell the difference? Or is it very like mixed nowadays?
nowadays it's very mixed. It's like these genres are like fused together. They're like hybrids. It's like not one definite sound unless you are going specifically to make a track that's just for trance, that's just for techno. There's a lot of crossover influence. Even if you
Yeah.
go to the older tracks, some of the techno songs that are iconic took some inspiration from trance, like the melody. Let's make it more
Yeah.
melodic. Or
What's one
a
techno?
vocal.
You know, just like strictly, here's one song that for sure is undoubtedly techno.
I can't think of an old song right now, but if I had to think of a modern song, any Sarah Landry track.
Okay. Okay.
But here's the thing about techno.
Okay.
Techno is a very snobby or elitist genre.
Is
so
it?
They're like, that's not a real techno DJ, bro. Like,
Is
in
it
the comments,
because-
I might get, he said Sarah Landry. No,
Yeah.
I'm not like that.
Yeah.
But Klein Kunster, this DJ from Germany,
Uh-huh.
amazing.
Okay.
I love his sound because he bounces hard techno, German techno, like think like we're going to the Berghain at 2 a.m. into like the next day in the morning kind of vibe, industrial, but then he mixes with some emotional aspects into it, some melodic from trance, a little bit in there, and has his own style. So
Okay, now for trance, what is the hallmark trait of trance? I know you know this.
euphoric, rising, like uplifting, and vocals. Like it's like epic build-ups
Like
into
that?
like an ascending moment where you feel like these are all the emotions you were feeling right now, and then
release.
release,
Oh,
and then you feel all the blur around your body.
yeah, there's so much. There's so many artists
Mm.
that take the trance genre to like the next level.
yeah.
Who's one? Above and Beyond.
Above and Beyond is one of my favorites, and I was really lucky to see them at my first rave ever. The first festival I ever went to, I was 17 years old.
Was I there?
I don't think so. This is super. I was still in high school.
Oh, okay.
So this was the last EDC held in LA before they
Oh,
moved
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
Las Vegas. I was able to go that year, 2010. I was 17 years old because at that time it was 16 and up.
Oh,
So I barely
that's
made the
insane.
cutoff.
Yeah.
All right. And then I got to see Above and Beyond. And during 2010, they were still playing like some of the most iconic tracks to this day.
Was it Sun and Moon or something like that?
Sun and Moon, I think, came out later, but it
Okay.
was like they have an alternative name called Ocean Lab.
Okay.
And that's like some of the most people would call that, if you look in a definition, trance. What's the definition? Ocean Lab. And then one song would be like Satellite. That's like like the peak of trance
Yeah.
would sound like that.
Wow.
That song.
Dang, trance is tight, man.
Yeah.
I definitely do like it when they mix trance elements into house music. They
yeah.
remember when they started doing that. What was it the 2010s? Right, was when house music, because originally house music was just the rhythm. It was very percussive. It wasn't
Yep.
very. It wasn't very like melodic. Right, and then all of a sudden, all these big room sounds and
Yeah.
trance synths started making their way into house music, and then you have Avicii, you have like all these people. What was it Swedish House Mafia? You know, when they started adding all these melodic sounds into it, I was like, this kind of sounds a little bit like trance, because there's a build up.
Yeah.
There's a trance, like a really big build up, and then the release happens too. So it branches off into so many things. That's why I think when whoever created the term EDM,
Yeah.
it's hard to pinpoint what is what, because it's such a wide umbrella, you know. So what's like the current trend in EDM right now, you think?
Current trends, if you were to ask me, techno is really in right now. There's techno influence everywhere in every genre. So you could be going to like a Knock 2 ISO XO set, and in the multiple times throughout the set, you're gonna hear a hard techno track out of nowhere. They're gonna drop it, and it's gonna go boom, 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 boom. And they just had like a bass song earlier, like a bass house song. So
Wow.
there's a lot of like hard techno being dropped randomly. There's techno influence everywhere, but now I'm actually starting to see a little bit more melodic again, and kind of like that percussion and like building up, which you can attribute to trance music. So I think it's slowly coming back. But I think music in general, EDM, no matter the genre, everything is a circle.
You remember when Skrillex came out and
Yeah.
changed the whole game?
Yep.
That was insane, because I remember a lot of things sounding very tame, right? If you can call it that.
Yeah,
Compared
Yeah,
to his
like
sound,
old dubstep.
everything sounded tame, like smooth, or if you were to put a feeling to it, everything sounded pretty chill.
Yeah.
Not super duper hardcore.
Yeah.
Right. You could find that in rock, however. In the rock genre, they were going like super death metal. You know, they had all these hardcore sounds already for that genre, but EDM never had a taste of that until like maybe Bloody Beetroots, maybe
Yeah.
Justice. Like it started
That's a
getting
throwback.
Yeah, so they started getting a little bit more hardcore,
Yep.
but it wasn't there yet until
Yeah.
Skrillex stepped into the scene
Yep.
and just destroyed all sounds.
Yep.
Dude, that was a crazy moment. And even to this day, his sound, I think, was the reason why bass music is the way it is today. What do you think?
I 100% agree. I think Skrillex is a pioneer, and the way that at that time when he first came out, he was actually very polarizing. There was like half people like, what is this trash? This is not music. This is like just wub, wub, wub. And then you got people who totally were on board and like, this is amazing. This is like the future, right? So you had a split going on, but some of the most iconic people in life are polarizing when they first come into the scene, right? That's just like pretty natural. But Skrillex, looking back on his whole career now, has definitely influenced and shaped EDM to what it is today with all his different styles, like his sounds and what he's done.
Yeah, and he's constantly changing it.
Yep.
Like his music today, have you heard any of his new music
Yeah,
today?
dude, his new albums are a completely different sound, but it's like, you know, his like, the moment you hear it, you're like, that's probably Skrillex, right? He has like the signature to it, but it's weird to define because his different eras, they all sound different. It's a different sound, but you just know it's Skrillex because number one, he's super talented at producing and making tracks, like his sound signature, and he knows everything, right? But just like he's willing to experiment and trying to like push the boundaries in what EDM can be.
Did he ever influence you to make music? Or did any
He was.
DJ?
He was. Dead Mouse at the time, Cascade, Skrillex were some of my inspirations when I messed around and dabbled with music production.
Yeah, how did you get into music anyway?
I think actually Can also inspired me. And then David over there, you guys can't see him, but he also inspired me as well when I was trying to like make and mess around with music.
What was it, Fruity Loops?
FL Studio.
What was like the first song genre that you made? Was it house?
Progressive House.
Okay.
128.
Nice. 120.
My song, I remember I sent you that song and I asked you, hey, well, how does this sound? My first track ever, the one that I made for the first time ever, like from start to finish, like a full track, I think I named it Sunset. Nice. And it was very Dead Mouse at that time, Dead Mouse inspired. I side chaining on, that signature sound. And it was like dun, 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 with like melody chords and stuff. So that was my first song.
Dang, that's pretty tight. Yeah, a lot of Deadmau5 also inspired me to make music too. But you know what else inspired me was the music that I was listening to when I was dancing back then was funk.
Yep.
Right. I mean, I still listen to funk to this day. I still practice to it. I feel like that's my bread and butter for music. I just love the way it makes you want to hit. Right. If you're talking about popping as a dance style, a hit is when you see their whole body just like pop. That's what popping is, right? But the thing that drives it is the sound of funk. And funk, EDM, that's kind of my style when it comes to producing, because I also make music and I used to make a lot of funk and EDM back then, and I used to mix those two things together. So that was kind of my background. But man, what a wild time. It was so accessible too, because you could just like download it. And just get it either cracked or pirated, right? Back then, there was no rules of the internet. There was no subscriptions.
It was like the Wild Wild West back in the day. Yeah.
And then a lot of the times, this was even before YouTube. Like before you could learn how to produce things, we were just messing around with that stuff. But now you can pretty much learn anything. But yeah, do you still make any music today?
I'm dabbling. I wouldn't say I'm actually making music like how I used to.
AI?
But I think AI music, okay, this is going to be super controversial. But I think...
You're polarizing them. Do it.
You know what? Right now, okay, think about it like this. When Auto-Tune became very popular, when it first came out, when T-Pain made it very popular mainstream, we remember all the backlash he got back in the day where they're like, auto-tune, why wouldn't you just sing with your own natural voice? Why do you have to auto-tune stuff, your vocals? And there's a lot of rappers using auto-tune at the time. Now, we don't even think about that with auto-tune.
Everybody uses
It's literally a style. Like, it's in modern rap, like, nonstop. Every track, all the trendy tracks, there's auto-tune on it, you know?
Yeah, like, what's his face? Future uses it.
Yeah.
Ty Dolla $ign.
It literally became a style, and it's just like a tool now. So, I'm not saying AI music is amazing and this is the future and we should only produce music this way, but to think about it logically, right now it's polarizing, but if you have the right mindset and you're still creative, I think we can use these tools to enhance your creative vision and to utilize the tool. So it should be a tool, it shouldn't be a replacement. That's my logic or my
I agree,
vision on
because as a producer, you're not making every single drum sample. You're not recording like every single instrument, right? You're not sitting there sound engineering the perfect synth, because sometimes that's a waste of time and it could actually tank your creative flow, because you're spending too much time on just little sounds where you could just download it off a Splice and just put together the vision you want, right? That's like level 1 like tools. AI is like boom. Now you don't even have to like compose it, because it'll compose it for you. You just have to tweak it and you have to know how to prompt it. And you're like the vibe conductor. You know, that's how I see it as. It's still production in my mind. There's just way less steps. And there's another thing is you do have less control, but that's just the beginning of AI. What if in the future the AI will allow you to make the song, or it'll make the song for you, but then it'll give you the project file. Here, you can tweak it now. You know, if they allowed you to do that for like Ableton, for example, imagine like you say, oh, I want a trance beat, blah, 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 this BPM, these are the words. And then it sends you all the stems.
Yep.
every track, and then now you can actually go into your project file and like edit it to how you actually want to, instead of wasting time like putting every single note
Yeah.
that you're already gonna, so yeah, no, it's definitely the future, I think, but there's something that has to be said about the whole process. I think the process is more important than the result. I think both are equally, oh, okay, let me say this. They're both equally important depending on your perspective. Like, for example, the result matters if you're trying to be a perfectionist, or if you're trying to get a job, or if you're
Yeah.
trying to make it your career.
Yeah.
Yes, the result will matter. But if you're a true artist and you're just here for the creative process, then that's probably going to be more important, right? I mean, but they're both, it really depends on what you like. It used to be half and half for me, where I do want to make it sound good and have a polished finish and all
Yeah.
that. But I also want the process to be fun.
Yeah.
I want the process to be like ups and downs, like frustration, excitement, all of that. I want to feel all of those things through my process. So over time, because I already have other jobs and other careers, I don't make music for money. I don't make music to try to make a living off of it anymore. It used to be that way, where
Yeah.
I would try to actually sell my music or whatever. But now it's more about the process. So I find that to be more fun when you record things yourself. And I completely stopped using samples. I've been,
Whoa.
yeah, completely, because I have the time to do it now.
Yeah.
Because I can take my time and not worry about making money off of music. I can take my time, record myself playing guitar. I actually had to learn guitar for like a couple of years before I actually felt comfortable to record it.
Yeah.
And then I started singing. I started using my voice and using a lot of everything natural, make it from scratch, because I know that's more steps. But to me, if it's a long journey, it's sick, dude, because you get to experience it from the very start. So then when the result comes, it doesn't matter if it's good or not. It's just, wow, I just can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
So have you ever gone the route where like you make something completely from scratch?
In terms of music production, I can't say that. I'm not like out here actually recording like the drum sounds and everything bit
Yeah.
by bit, because that's a lot. That's
Yeah.
really intense.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the audience knows this, but a lot of your favorite DJs out there and whatnot are using a lot of samples for the drum sounds and for vocals or splicing it or whatever. So I don't want them to think that every DJ is like picking sounds.
Yeah,
from
no one
somewhere.
does that, by the way.
So like what Can is doing is actually really impressive. Like it takes a lot of effort,
Thanks, man.
but it's so rewarding, right?
It
Because
is.
you had full control. You had a very specific vision, and you were trying to interpret it in what you're picking up and what you're doing. And once you have the finished result, even though it might take a lot longer, how long it might take,
Yeah.
it feels a lot more rewarding because it's all you, right?
Yeah, you know what? Ironically, though, because I've switched over to guitar and voice, it's less instruments I actually have to worry about. I completely removed the sound design part of it.
Yeah.
So all that time I used to spend to tweak sounds, I don't do any of that anymore. And it's actually faster for me to make a song from scratch. And even writing it on my little notepad,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't even know. I'm not a songwriter,
Yeah.
but I recently started trying to write songs, and I'm like, dude, I suck at words. But then over time, I just stopped caring about what the words were,
Yeah.
and I just said, I just need to write it,
Yeah.
right? And that actually became faster. That to compose something,
Yeah.
to mix something, everything became faster because I'm just using my mind to write it down real quick instead of trying to do it on the computer, because the computer is its own language.
Yep.
Right. But if it comes from your body,
Yeah.
it's so much more, what is it? It's so much more intuitive,
Yeah.
Like you're just doing it off of feeling.
Yes.
So if you create it off of your feeling, it feels easier, but you have to kind of work to get there. But once you get there, honestly, it just maybe for some people that are brand new to music, and you want to make a song, just do the most bare minimum and start there. Because it's better to do that than to just watch a bunch of tutorials and do nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you ever watched any tutorials on making music?
When I first started, all the time. That's all I did, because you would have it and you wouldn't know how to use anything, right? So you had to have some sort of base. So I watched a lot of tutorials. Literally, it's like how to make 128 BPM progressive house, and then I would get like like literally watching step by step to kind of get like the structure of what you're supposed to be doing. So it's helpful in that way, but it's also nice to experiment, like you're saying. Just do it. Throw yourself in there. No expectations. Don't overthink, and kind of use your intuition, because you can find some cool stuff, or you come up with something that you wouldn't have found out from a tutorial.
Yeah. So here's a hack for people that want to make music and don't have a budget. If you have a phone, bro, the iPhone microphone is actually OP, because what I did was, I have a sliding door closet. I just go into the closet, because there's clothes in there. It dampens the sound.
Yeah.
So you don't need a booth. You just need a closet with clothes, right? Get your iPhone, put it right here, start singing into it, right? And then if you have a guitar or any instrument, it doesn't have to be super duper like perfect, because in the editing, in the software, you could just edit it.
Yeah.
Right? In your voice, you could also edit it too. So yeah, I used my iPhone to record my first song that I ever wrote for like guitar. I used that. I put it down on my bed and I played the acoustic guitar on my bed. I didn't even use a legit mic, And those are the only tools you really need, is yourself and your phone. And maybe a computer if you're trying to edit it. But phones, I think, also have software. There's tons of software out there that you can use to start making music. But the important thing is to just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that philosophy for anything in life is like what I've been learning and taking on, recently in the past few years. Just do it.
Yeah.
And do it scared. Like if you're scared, because, okay. I'm going to bring something up. So there's a shuffle competition coming up. I have not battled in a dance battle since high school, back when I was b-boying.
Okay.
I am pondering about signing up and battling, even though I might be doubting myself, even though I don't know if I'm ready, even though if I don't know if I have enough skill for it. At the end, when it comes by, I think I'm just gonna do it scared, and that's a philosophy that I've been ingraining in myself recently. Just doing things with no expectation. And
are you gonna prepare for it though?
Yeah, for sure. I've been practicing. I've been going to a lot of the meetups. I've been practicing dancing in general. But yeah, I think, of course, I'm gonna be super scared, and I'm actually like hardcore doubting myself right now.
Do you want advice for being scared?
Please.
So my band teacher used to say, if you get on stage nervous and you feel the nervousness, where do you feel it? It's usually
Stomach.
right here, stomach, right? He says that you're gonna take that nervous energy and you're gonna use it as fuel, push it out. So breathe. You push, literally imagine yourself pushing that nervous energy out to your performance. And that's your fuel to, be present, get in the zone, put on your best effort. That's energy that you got to use. So that's what I learned a long time ago in high school, and I never forgot it. Because I get nervous all the time. And I've been on stage many times. And every time I think about that, I go, okay, I'm nervous, and I recognize the nervousness. So once you capture that, attention of the nervousness, you push it, you channel it. You channel it into your arms, into your feet, channel it. So imagine it that way. So if you're scared, channel it into your body. Like, okay, I'm scared, but I'm going to use that scared energy to put it into my feet. Because that actually snaps you back into reality, and it helps you. It's actually not supposed to make you freeze. It'll make you freeze, however, if you think about it in here. If you put the scared energy into your head, that's going to occupy the space of your freestyle or your set or whatever. That's going to block you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you don't want that. You want to put it into your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I just learned something new today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, scared is one emotion. What's another one that you feel when you're going through it?
When I'm going through it, scared.
Yeah, what other emotions do you experience while you're dancing other than scared?
I mean, does doubt count as an emotion?
I
Doubting?
guess, yeah.
It's like the emotion of thought. If we want to like frame it that way, what you think is kind of what you feel. So if you're doubting yourself or you're overthinking or you're scared or just like I can't do it, I don't know if I can do it. You know, it's like honest dialogue within inside of yourself. You go, I don't know, can I do it? Am I gonna mess up? Are people gonna see me as a fraud or like an imposter?
Ooh, imposter.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, do you get that a lot?
Dude, even right now with the lights on, you feel like this nervousness, right? It's like
Yeah.
I'm literally just talking about my life, but it's like, is my life and am I an imposter in my own life?
Yeah, that's how you know logically, like duh, you're a dancer. Like no,
Yeah.
duh, you're you do all these things.
Yeah.
You're not a fake at it because you've been doing it. You've been putting in the practice. So all that imposter syndrome is literally fake.
Yeah.
It's that thought of the imposter syndrome. That's the true culprit of like what's false. The thoughts aren't real.
Yeah.
Right, but this is your experience is real. You know, all of that stuff that you went through is real. So once you realize that, usually it goes away, but you have to train it like a muscle.
Yeah.
You have to train it so that your thoughts stop saying, oh, you're a fake, you're a fraud, and you train it to say, no, I'm actually a really good dancer. I've been training for years. I got this. So you have to rewire.
Yeah.
Rewire because what is that called? Not a trauma response, but I forget what it's called. But basically, a lot of the negative self-talk that we have in our heads isn't real, and it's usually coming either from our upbringing or people that put us down, and we just have those things stick in our head. That's trauma, right? So you have to, again, like I said before, capture it.
Yeah.
You capture it and you go away. Put it in a place where it actually matters. Put it in a place where you're gonna be productive, where you're gonna make others happy, or even going back to the whole conversation thing. If I'm nervous at a party, I want to actually redirect that energy outward and let me get to know the outside world.
Yeah.
What are they doing and how are they responding to me? And for your competition, for example, the judges, they're the ones that are going to be watching you, right? So instead of thinking about how you feel, think about how they feel. Like what would the judge want to see? You know,
want to see a confident dancer killing it.
Yeah, they want to see they want to see something dope. You know, so once you start thinking outward like that and not thinking inward, it's gonna start to make you feel like, okay, I understand what I need to do more clearly. You know, because that's a lot of the times where your thoughts get in the way of your performance, or they get in the way of life. It's blocking your, your energy, man.
Yeah,
you gotta break it. You gotta break it.
See, this is what Ken is really good at. He gets that nervous energy, redirects it, and then he's a dope dancer.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I don't. Thank you. It doesn't mean I don't feel it. Of course, everybody feels it, right? But it's what you do with the feeling that really matters. And this kind of goes into a little bit of emotional IQ, where like you have to recognize each emotion that comes out, right? Once you recognize it, then what do you do with it? You either there's two ways to deal with it. You either respond to it or you react to it, right? What do you feel like is what you do?
So what I've been challenging myself lately, I don't know if this is the responding, but I do it scared now. I do it scared. So that means I am doing it still. I'm just embracing what I'm feeling, but even though I'm feeling it, once I do the thing, looking back, I always go, oh, I'm so glad I did that. Do you ever, I'm happy that I went with it, you know?
Do you ever feel like sometimes our emotions are so strong that it pulls us, instead of us responding, it's like pulling us away from something?
For sure. Yeah, it could be both ways.
Yeah, so how do you deal with that?
So during the times where it feels tougher or I can't act on it and you're just too much in your thoughts or feelings, it's something that you have to, okay, first off, one, you have to acknowledge it. You have to realize and notice that it's happening. You have to feel like, I'm feeling this way.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, why am I feeling this way? And then if you're like, okay, if you identify why you're feeling this way, I think 3 is accepting. Be like, okay, I know I feel this way because of this, but that's okay.
Oh, that's okay is important for sure. Yeah. Ooh, okay, because I know that sometimes people don't know where to put these feelings, or they don't know where to direct it.
Yeah.
I know for you, you like writing.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
So when I was really going through it, one of my outlets, because at that time I was just thinking of outlets. Okay, what can I do when I feel a certain way or I'm not feeling the best? So I started dancing again. I started dancing a lot because I used to do it. It's like something I used to love. And when I did it, I was like, I still love it. I still like it. And then another thing I did was writing. So I started writing during COVID. Around that time, I was writing poetry. I was just like, the emotions were basically coming out in words on paper or me typing it. As long as it's coming out to something, right? It's manifesting into something. I feel like I was pushing those feelings and letting it out instead of having it stuck in my head. And in the way, because I'm a creative, I like it's a form of expression too, and I like expressing myself that way.
Did you ever have any inspirations for poetry?
I would see like these poets on IG, and I see some of their poetry because during that time I was following random poets.
What about Tumblr?
Oh my god, you just took me back. There was so much poetry on Tumblr back in the day, so that was definitely an influence as well. But yeah, I was like, I think I can do that. So I was like, if I'm in the right mood, I can channel that and throw it onto something and type it out. And in a way, it's also a form of journaling in a way because you're writing it out. You're just letting it go.
But then you wanted to do it artfully, right?
Exactly, because I think it's like just the natural creative in me is like, okay, let's express it.
Do you know any poetry techniques like haikus or like
something I like to do? I try to I guess I got it from hip hop and rap. I try to make the last word in the first line and the third line rhyme.
Okay.
Or some sort of format, and the second and the fourth will rhyme. The last words. Because it flows better, and it's like, oh, I just read that line. I went to the next line. They match up. They kind of sync up, and then you can also use that to your advantage. Like, in the first line, you're talking about something specific, and then you bring it back in the third line.
Oh,
so it impacts them more in
like
a way when
you're
they
weaving
read it.
the story a little bit.
It's like half of the story, and then you finish the second half with the third line.
Oh, I see.
And you keep connecting the dots that way.
Yeah. What are some other techniques that people do? Because I know that word count is one.
Word count,
rhyming is another.
yeah.
The way you structure like certain sounds.
Yes.
Too like
Yes.
audible. If
Yes.
you read it out loud, the audible. That's what I've been kind of focusing on when I
Yeah.
write songs.
Yeah.
Is like I don't care what the word is. I just want to hear what it sounds like when it comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't feel right,
Yeah.
I'll change the word to make the sounds different.
Yeah.
You ever do that?
Yeah, just like word flow and like I think syllable count.
Syllable.
So you
that's
can
another-
change the word. It's like all that kind of throws it off. It has too many syllables. So we'll change it to a different word, and then it'll flow better when you read it. Sometimes simple is better.
Yeah.
So sometimes you take one or two words out of that line you just wrote, and it suddenly just flows and completes the whole picture better. So that's also how I look at it. Luckily, I feel like I have a natural talent of writing. Since I was young, I could just write without struggling. And the more I did it, it just became kind of second nature to me.
Nice.
So I don't know if we ever collab in the future. If you need songwriting, lyrics.
For sure. Have
maybe
you
I got
written songs before?
I have. And I've been doing it recently.
How come you don't release it, man? You don't share it, man. Too personal?
I'm working on stuff right now.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
But I think I do have a knack for songwriting. I don't know how you become a songwriter, but now it's something I'm also considering. Like, how do you get into that world? Because I feel like I can write lyrics.
I feel like you already have the answer.
Yeah.
You just need to put it out.
Yeah.
And you know what's another important thing? If you want to become something different than what you are, I think it's important to get feedback. Especially if it's something that you're unsure of, right? And especially if something you're new to.
Yeah.
I always default to who knows more than me or who has a different perspective than me because I'm trying to branch out of myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to stay in the same shell.
Yeah.
So with songwriting, for example, I just go, okay, I don't know if this is good.
Yeah.
I think it's good, but I don't really know until I share it with someone.
Yeah.
And then based off of what people say, I know it sounds bad to care about what other people think, but sometimes it's okay. Like, you're just getting feedback. That's normal.
Yeah.
And they either love it or they hate it or it's whatever. And if it doesn't impact them at all, then I need to go back to myself and go, okay, what can I do better? But to me, I don't take it personally. I'm just doing it to try to move. I'm just moving to this spot. All right, this spot doesn't work. I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah.
You know, let me try this. Let me try that.
Yeah.
So I think for you, for songwriting, is share it.
Yeah.
Share it, try it out, and then get the feedback. Then go, all right, everybody is saying that this part sucks. All right, let me change it and see how can I make it better, you know? And there's nothing wrong with people saying that your stuff sucks, because I actually think that is what makes you better. Like, you know how they say failure is like,
Yes.
everybody's failure is the reason why they're successful.
Yeah.
So keep failing.
Yeah. And I've been learning that too. Like, it's okay to fail. It's okay as long as you're doing it and you get back up and you try again. Eventually, like, if you work on your craft enough times, like, it's gonna work out. If you really are passionate about it and you have, you know, real intentions behind it, you know, with experience, I think experience really makes you better in anything, right? So yeah. So
Dang. So we're coming to close to the end of the show now. But every episode, I have this tradition that I took from Diary of a CEO. You ever listen to that podcast?
I have it.
Okay. Well, basically, he has a guest ask a question to the next guest.
Oh.
But for me, I kind of change it up. I go,
Okay.
instead of a question, it's more of a message.
Okay.
Or a question. It's
Okay.
it's open ended.
Okay.
So the last guest said, "What do you want to make others feel?"
What?
And that is directed towards you. So
I'm just gonna be as honest and genuine as possible.
nah,
right?
be fake, dude.
No, I'm gonna be fake. I
Be
want
performative.
I want to go viral. I don't want to. No, it's not like that. No, but honestly, what do I want to make others feel? I want other people to feel accepted and to feel okay being themselves. I think that everyone has their own struggles. Everyone has their own battles. But I think it's really good to try to find a place where you're comfortable with just being yourself. And I think community and outreach and like loving other people is really important too.
That's
Just-
a great answer.
Yeah, I just think, I just be a good person, love other people, and
Yeah,
love yourself.
make people love themselves. You got
Yes.
that?
Yes,
He wants to make you love yourself.
yes.
But yeah, so okay, now if you were to say or ask something for the next guest, you don't know who it is,
Ooh.
what would you say?
If they could go back in time, what is one thing that they would do to change something about their past life?
Whoa, go back in time to change something about their past life or just their past?
Just a moment in time, or if they didn't do something, would they try it in the past? If they had a second chance, like a second go around.
Okay,
A
so
question.
let me try to sum that up. So if you had
If you go back in time.
okay, if you go back in time, what's one thing you would change?
Yeah.
Right, let's say it like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, if you go back in time, what's one thing you would change? That's a good one. I like it. Nice. Okay. Well, how do you feel?
I feel good.
You feel
And-
nervous still?
No, I feel less nervous. And it was nice to have this talk.
Nice.
I was really nervous at first, not gonna lie. But midway, I was like, okay, this is nice. This is actually kind of healing. That's what I
Oh,
felt during
healing.
this whole thing. I was like, oh, I'm starting to heal. Because I was thinking about certain things and popped up in my mind while you were speaking. I was like, yeah, I've been through that. I've gone through that already. And you know
Yeah.
what? I'm doing better now. Like, it's just like a reminder. So it's very therapeutic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I was able to heal you. Do you feel it?
I feel it. I feel so warm.
Nice. Dude, good job, man. I'm
All right.
proud of you.
Hey, let's go.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Hopefully that made you happy. Bye.
Bye.